coming up, we finally got our first look at Marvel's next big adventure. Join us as we dissect the teaser trailer for Avengers Doomsday. Stay tuned. Welcome to The Morgue, where we dissect the latest and greatest in the world of entertainment. And we are your host, Arturo Padilla, along with Mr. Nick Valdez. Tex, how you doing today, buddy? What's up?
Howdy, everybody. Howdy, Arturo. Avengers Doomsday. So you and I have been talking about this for a while, and it's largely been negative, right? Like, it's a lot of us, like, it's been a lot of us going, where is it? What's going on? This thing's apparently still existing. It's coming out in December. Where is this trailer? Where is the teaser? All we've gotten is concept art before this, but now we can finally relax. Question marks are still popping up, right? How are you feeling about this?
I don't know. First, we got that fast food chain concept art last week or the week before, which was really concerning because I was like, this is the stuff you'll see on back to school like supplies and stuff like that. And it wasn't really the best first look, in my opinion. But we finally got the teaser trailer for Avengers Doomsday, and I'm not as hyped as I thought I would be. Yeah. I did get what I wanted, which was a good look at Doomsday. But other than that, I think they stitched together and extended a bunch of the teaser trailers that we got back in December with Avatar 3. So we didn't really get a lot of new information here, but I am happy that we did get Doomsday. And I think what could be Robert Downey Jr.'s voice as well, and his iteration of the Doomsday Latveria voice in the beginning of the trailer. So I am excited about that, but honestly, I could have been fine with just a picture of Downey Jr. in his getup, and I would have been good till November.
This is the thing, right? Because we've also said this. We're like, we just need to look at Doom, right? And this whole time, this is what our complaint has been. Is like, just show us Doom already. Just show us. And then they reveal, like, that's why you're saying it's super weird, because then they revealed him through concept art, which is like, yeah, this is cool if we would have got it a year ago, right? When they were first making this thing of like, okay, well, here's what he's gonna look like as Doom. And that's what we've been saying this whole time. We're like, we just kind of need that official costume image so we can like absorb it. And now that we've gotten more than that, it does feel weird for me to also say, I don't know, right? This is why this is so weird, because we got the thing we've been asking for. And I think this is the same footage, buddies. You can go back in the archive of The Morgue. We talked about this during CinemaCon, and we were kind of complaining about like, what's going on? I do think this is the same footage that they got. It might have been changed a little bit there. I think people are still kind of comparing and contrasting whether or not this is the same footage, but it's largely the same. You like Arturo said, it's the same stuff we knew about from the teasers. The same players that are involved in those teasers are now just kind of fighting each other as like, okay, confirmation that these worlds are colliding. And then there are big moments in the trailer that like are supposed to give us that pop, supposed to give us that feeling, right? But then there's just something about it that's just not fully connecting. And I think that's what we're getting at here, right? Where it's like you have a shot of Gambit fighting Shang-Chi, and in a different world, part of me is like, yeah, that's cool, right? Like the nerd, like the lizard brain part of me is of course being like, yeah, that's cool. But the person who sat through these Marvel movies for the last 20-something years is sitting here going, oh, you finally remembered Shang-Chi existed. And this is his first appearance since his solo film forever ago.
Yeah.
At the start of a phase that you're completely throwing out at this point. And he's fighting Gambit, a joke character from Deadpool and Wolverine that you're now making serious with Channing Tatum. And it's like, I don't know, man. I'm mixed.
I definitely feel you 100%. And if this is the footage that they got back in CinemaCon, why not release it back when CinemaCon came out, right? Like that
Yeah.
weekend was the time to tease us. And it's funny because this came out at the same time that that the tickets for the Infinity Vision are available, right?
That's
And they're
that's another
this is
thing. Yeah.
essentially a get your tickets kind of trailer. You know, it's not really the teaser we had hoped. It's come get your tickets because we need this money because Dune
Yeah.
3 stole all our IMAX screens, you know?
Yo, come get your tickets for our made up version of the movies, you swine. Like, this is like Infinity Vision, dude. Okay. You're gonna, buddies at home, you're gonna hear about this, right? You're gonna hear that a lot. What it is, it's just a Disney branded like sticker on top of what already exists. It's everything premium format that isn't IMAX. So it's your 3D screens, it's your RPX theaters, it's your Screen X theaters, everything that's just not an IMAX theater. It's Disney's way of saying, oh, it's still premium, and trying to save face from the fact that they are not going to be on IMAX screens come December, like Arturo said, because Dune 3 is already there and Marvel refused to move from the spot, which is, once again, this is such like a wild move from Disney in general of
Right? Like
yo,
knowing
come
the
on.
landscape of Hollywood and the box
Yes.
office, knowing how Dune 2 and Dune 1 fared in the box office as well, wouldn't you want to bump it up to November? You know?
Yes.
Like, but they're just being really stubborn about this. And granted, like the movies are completely different genres, right? But they
Yeah.
kind of still have the same fans, right? So that's gonna be a big thing to keep your eye on come that weekend of December 18th or whatever it is. And it's funny too, because the only tickets available are for that Friday. Like you're not even getting like an early screening on a Tuesday or that Thursday release where a lot of movies now kind of live for those people who rush to the movie
Yeah.
theaters, right?
Because they can't open those up yet, because it's not, they're not going to open those up until like 2 months before, like they usually do for movies. Like, so this is just, it's just one weird thing after another. And on top of that, we have a teaser where, in a different world, we would be 100% hyped for this. But in the current like stage of where Marvel is now, we're looking at it kind of half-hearted. It's kind of like it's weird because it, and I think, like, I know fans out there and buddies at home, you got to be feeling this too. Like it, I know Arturo and I might come at this. You might think we're like a little bit too negative on this because hey, it's Doctor Doom and it should be the coolest thing. Oh, Steve Rogers is back. This should be the coolest thing ever, but it's not. Like, and like you gotta admit it to yourself. Steve Rogers, like, think of it in WWE terms, right? Like, Steve Rogers coming out of retirement would be awesome if, like, anything that happened in between Endgame and now, like, set up new stars, right? This is like saying, oh, like, John, like, this would be like if John Cena wrestled again, literally maybe like five. Okay, let's give it, I'll give it some credit, like 5 years after he retired and John Cena came back at WrestleMania, and you're like, okay, cool, that would matter if we had stars in the meantime. And this is what Marvel failed to do. Marvel failed to build up like today's version of the stars. Like, we shouldn't be begging for Steve Rogers to come back, right? Like, we should, like, Sam Wilson is Captain America and he should feel like Captain America by this point. And I don't know if he does. Like, I feel
Nah,
like,
he's been done
I
dirty,
feel like he
dude.
got, yeah, I feel like he got let down. I feel like we got let down as an audience of like, this is an Avengers movie, and what's our Avengers lineup?
Yeah, especially
It's
after Thunderbolts, where Thunderbolts
yeah,
did something really cool and kind of hyped up the fan base a little bit, but it was nothing done after that. It was kind of like, okay, here's this, and here's this, this Doom post credit scene. that was infamously directed by the Russos at the end of Thunderbolts, and they were like, "Oh, maybe we're getting something here," but like Tex said, like Marvel has dropped the ball the last what almost decade, pretty much you can say, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
It's been trial and tribulation for Marvel after Endgame, and this is where the culmination is, right? Avengers Doomsday. And I still feel a little let down by the trajectory of Marvel and how they've taken things after Endgame, because they wanted us to stay engaged with the universe, right? With the MCU. They brought out WandaVision, they brought out all these TV shows on Disney Plus, which went absolutely nowhere in the grand scheme of things, and they're completely burying them and all the characters they pretty much created, which is very annoying because as a Marvel fan, we sat through those shows. We actually got to enjoy those characters. And we're like, you know what? If you go back to the archives, we talk about all of them, folks.
And
here we are.
We were speaking about them positively, right? And out of all those new stars, who do we have in this one? Shang-Chi. You have Sam Wilson, Captain America, who was already an established person from the previous era, right? And then that's it. You have the Fantastic Four, an entire new team that was just introduced in the movie before this. You have Shuri Black Panther, which is cool. You have Namor, which is like, that's a cool thing I'll give them credit for. But once again, this is all like, these are the latest movies that they made that are getting thrown into this. And then you have the Thunderbolts light up, and you're like, cool, you're using the last three movies that are suddenly telling us these are important when you ignore the rest of the slate. And you threw it out because the Kang stuff didn't work. And the Kang stuff didn't work because they gave up on the Kang stuff, right? Like they didn't even try to recast and kind of refigure that out and try and give us what that would have done, right?
Well, that was their fault though, because of the use of Jonathan Majors across the board in several of their properties. So changing him would have kind of done a lot of neck turns and confusions, because they used them in Loki, they used them in Quantumania.
It was just a bad idea
in a bunch of stuff. And it's, terrible idea across the board, especially if you never had a proper plan with Kang, which I don't think they had, honestly. I think they were just kind of like doing this, let's see where this goes kind of nonsense. And this is where we're at, Tex.
And this is exactly why this trailer for Doomsday doesn't feel like it has the hype it should, because once again, this feels like a thrown together WrestleMania card. You're bringing your old guys out of retirement. We're going to see Professor X die again, and you're like, okay, this is the fourth time we're seeing Professor X die.
This is more like a Saudi Arabia card, right? A WrestleMania card.
Let's
pay all the legends to come over here. Let's pay them a bunch of money to save us, because this is what we need right now, because we have no idea what we're doing.
Yes, we have no marquee new heroes that people would want to see. And speaking of that, like, where's the cast? Like, this is also, this is a teaser trailer. We could be seeing way more people in this than they've announced. And like, when you think about all the heroes that we've seen over the last few years that are totally getting thrown underboard, you're like, what's going on? Because, where's your Captain Marvel? Where's, no She-Hulk, I guess. Like, what's going on? Like, and you're getting an Avengers movie without Spider-Man in it. I really hope Brand New Day kind of explains that, which is a whole other thing. Like, and it's so funny because I'm in this WrestleMania mode right now and just thinking about it, because when you look at the trailer and you hear the trailer, it's set up that way. Thor's like, yo, this dude's the baddest dude I've ever seen, and I'm scared, man. And it's totally like, that's a WWE thing.
That's what we heard about Thanos too, right?
Yes, like, you're burying your big guy who's like the biggest and toughest, and he's sitting there going, guys, I don't know, man, this ain't working. This is a big bad dude. And you see him getting blocked by Doom, and it's a cool scene, that, like, I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and say when I see that in the theater, I'm going to be like, of course, right? Of course we're going to react to it, because it's dumb comic book stuff and we're going to love it. But at the same time, it's got a lot of work to do to make us care about it, I think, at the end of the day. And I think we all know, and I think buddies at home, you know too, like, you know, this has been just thrown together. Like, this is literally like they're just tossing this all together. This is, it's hard, like, it feels last minute, and it just feels messy. And then when you look at, like, oh, they brought back these older X-Men characters back to this, and you're like, cool, but also
to what extent? Yeah, exactly. Like, we know this is not going to last long for them, knowing the trajectory of Marvel, hearing the rumors of these new X-Men characters being cast, of Adam Driver being cast as Magneto supposedly. Like, we know that these guys are just fodder, which is like, all right, but like, why are we getting more of them in this teaser instead of getting something fresh, like Tex was mentioning? Like everyone remembers the casting video that they released on YouTube showing all of the director's chairs with all those, all those popular names across the board. And we got a bunch of characters we've already seen here that we know aren't really the top-notch thing, you know what I mean? And we do get Chris Evans at the end with Thor, which is a cool moment, but also we've seen the teaser of Chris Evans holding a baby and saying, Captain America or Steve Rogers will be back. We've seen that already. So having him come in here at the very last shot of this teaser isn't really like a surprise, So all that said, Tex, I'm still kind of worried about all this. I think, and I do wish that if they had just released an image, like, for instance, I was telling Tex off the air, little peek under the sheet, that usually you would see images from Empire Mag about the new production, about, all the new characters involved. You would see these really nice glossy images of the characters and their costumes, and that would be all we get until we get a proper trailer down the line. And I would have been fine with that, but they didn't give us that. They gave us this back to school special artwork, right? And then and this teaser. So this is all we really have to go with. And like I said, I am happy that I finally got to see and hear Doom. So I am excited about where that can go. But we still have no clue where this story is going, where everything is going to end up in December, Tex.
Yeah, like, what makes this multiversal, right? Like, what is the multiversal hook? And ultimately, like, why are all these universes colliding? We know it's the incursion stuff, which was introduced in Doctor Strange, which is another thing too. You're like, where's Doctor Strange? Like, you'd figure he was also one of the lead movies that we got where they mentioned incursion for the first time, in that, oh my god, in the post-credit scene with Charlize Theron in it, that, that's another thing that just went nowhere by this point. And you're like, well, okay, I guess Doctor Strange no longer matters either. I don't know, man. I'm just so like, I know I'm so negative on this, and I'm so like, I'm so sorry to be like a wet blanket dampering on. If you're hyped about this, cool, man. Like, I want to be. I am too, because yes, of course, seeing James Marsden in the classic Cyclops outfit, I'm sitting here going, that's going to be the best thing I'm ever going to see in my life. You know what I mean? Like, we're finally getting this. And Mystique, I wish her wig was better. So like, this looks a little crispy in there and looking a little ripe. So I wish I could be more excited about this. It's just, I know all this stuff behind the scenes, and I really just hope that at the end of the day, this movie is going to pay it off. Like, I hope they can turn this mess into something that, like, we're going to be excited about, because, of course, when, like, because yes, Doom showing up in this, and without any buildup, yes, I get why that's a critique, right? But to be honest, did Thanos get a lot of buildup before Infinity War? Yes and no, right? Like, we heard about Thanos, and you see him briefly here and there, but like, we didn't get Thanos until Infinity War. And Infinity War, Thanos, like, we were sold, right? But in Infinity War, we knew everything else before that. We knew all the characters and we cared about them, right? Like them dying at the end of Infinity War only mattered because we cared about them. But when everybody dies at the end of Doomsday, are we going to care?
That's a great point.
Are we going to get sold enough through this Doom for us to be like, all right, can't wait to see what's next in Secret Wars? I don't know, man. I really hope so. I really hope they stick the landing with this. Everything in my body is telling me otherwise, and that sucks. Like, I wish this teaser came out and I was like,
dude. All very good points. All very good points, dude. And also on top of that, like releasing it a week before Spider-Man, I'm still super hyped for Spider-Man. And I just wish that like at least we got this trailer in front of Spider-Man. That way you wouldn't kind of lessen the hype for Brand New Day. And I kind of wish they would have saved this, you know? And I think that's a play by Marvel because they want to always outshine their own properties, you know? Like they want to bury their properties before it's even out there. And I hope that with Brand New Day, we kind of blow this whole thing out of the water. I'm very excited for Brand New Day still. And again, I still have my concerns about Doomsday and how it's all gonna go down. The fact that we haven't really gotten anything major up until this week is and always will be a problem for me, because back in the day, Marvel used to sprinkle their teasers and all their Easter eggs throughout the months before the big release. But
dude, I mean,
here we are.
Like a more competent version of this rollout would have been like, they look at how many characters they have, right? Now, imagine when they started their countdown, like every week they were like, well, here's this poster for, you know, here's the poster for Yelena, who's coming back. And here's the poster for, and then, you know, before big reveals, here's the Doom poster you've all been waiting for that we've been counting down to. And you're so right that like
simple as that. It's been poor marketing for sure. And Tex is right. Like that's kind of all we really wanted as fans, just little sneak peeks of our heroes in costume. You know,
because we want to sit here and talk about it. We want to sit here and glaze Marvel basically for you buddies at home. Like we all want to be excited for Marvel, and it's really hammering home that time has passed. And I think ultimately, that's what's sinking in right now, right? You're like, oh man, like, of course we're never going to get 2019 again with Endgame. Of course not. But like to see this and to be like, yeah, that looks cool, instead of being like, oh, I can't wait. That's the issue.
Yeah, buddies at home, let us know in the comments down below what you thought about this teaser for Avengers Doomsday. Let us know what you're most excited about. If you're disappointed a little bit like we are, if you're super hyped on the other spectrum, you know, just let us know down below. We really want to know what you guys feel out there. We want to know what the fans want to see and what the fans are expecting. Thank you so much for listening. This is The Morgue, where we dissect the latest and greatest in the world of entertainment. And we are your hosts, Arturo Padilla, along with Mr. Nick Valdez. A big shout out goes to you guys out there for listening and for watching. We have all these episodes on YouTube and wherever you get your podcast streams. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, hit that thumbs up, hit that bell. That way you know when all these episodes are dropping, and let us know in the reviews and give us some stars on the podcast streams. We'd highly appreciate it. A big shout out goes to Delvirus for the artwork you've seen in front of you throughout the years. And last but not least, it is a scary world out there, especially with the lack of knowledge from Marvel, but we are here to walk you through it.